All right, hey guys, Brian Osborne here. Not in a video right now, but something much cooler, of course, a kangaroo. I'm here with Leanne, the Senior Zoo Manager for the Ark Encounter Creation Museum, Answers in Genesis. And we are here with our kangaroos at the Ark Encounter, a very popular exhibit, right?
Yes. So we are in our kangaroo walkabout right now, and this is one of our most popular exhibits here at the Ark Encounter Zoo. And we have 8 red kangaroos here in our walkabout. So we have 7 females and 1 male in here. And this group is what is called a mob. So typically kangaroos will live in family groups. So right now we have the 2 moms, and then the rest of them are basically all of their kids that live together in our kangaroo walkabout.
And you said there's 1 male?
There's 1 male. So Rehoboam, who we started the shot on, he is our male. So he is the son of our one of our females, Naamah. So he's kind of in charge of the mob, but really
okay.
his mom Naamah actually.
I was thinking he might be outnumbered.
He's got it pretty good. He's got a pretty good life. He's red kangaroos. The males are usually quite a bit bigger than the females. So he can kind of push his way around when he wants to. So.
Now, we were talking before the video how the kangaroos here, especially during the day, during the heat of the day, they're pretty chill, right?
Yes.
They do a lot of this, right?
Yes, so they do a lot of sleeping during the heat of the day. So we call kangaroos are crepuscular, and that's a big word, but that basically means that they're active early in the morning and then later on in the afternoon as it starts cooling down. So in Australia, where it gets really hot in the summer during the heat of the day, these guys are going to be lounging around in the shade under bushes or trees, staying cool. Today it's a little bit cooler. It's kind of a nice day, so these guys are actually out sunning today. So what you see today is them doing a little bit of sunning, enjoying this nice warm weather.
When we were in Australia, we actually got to see some kangaroos kind of laying about and just random fields. As you're going down the road, you see a mob of them. Pretty cool to see that.
Yes.
Now, we did see from time to time too, though, when these things want to, they can cover some ground, right?
Yes, they can.
Right.
So these guys, they can hop up to 15 feet in one stride.
Holy cow.
So if they really need to get away quickly, they've got those powerful legs, and they use that tail kind of almost like a spring to help propel them forward. So they can hop up to 15 plus feet at a time. They can even hop 6 feet up in the air.
Wow.
And these guys can actually get around between 30 and 40 miles per hour.
Holy
when
cow.
they're on a full out hop. So they are very fast movers when they want to be.
So they could literally just jump over me with 1 bounce.
If they were motivated enough, yes, they could.
Yeah, motivation would be key.
Oh, here's Naamah here. She's coming up now. She's got to see if I have any treats for her.
Well, I was telling you earlier, when I was in Australia, I was at a different zoo there, and there was a joey. And I'll put that video in this video. The joey was hopping around his mom, and I was so impressed at how fast and how long the bounds were. I mean, he was moving. And I was so impressed by how much ground they could cover, how fast it was, and do multiple hops back to back to back to back. It was amazing to see.
Yes. It's incredible how far they can hop, and they've been designed to do this. This isn't something that evolved on its own. This was designed. So they have very powerful hind legs. They've got really some great tendons in there that actually kind of store up that energy as they're hopping. So as they hop, the hop will actually help propel the next hop that they're going to take.
Oh, look at that. Okay.
Yeah. And their diaphragms, as they're hopping, the diaphragm basically will help push air in and out. So they don't even have to exert a whole lot of effort for breathing while they're hopping. So it's really incredible when you even break down a hop about how these guys can get around so quickly and efficiently.
That's really awesome. So God designed them to do that.
God designed them to do that.
Well, I'll make a quick connection to our lesson today, and that is God designed Paul to go on missionary journeys, right?
Right.
Actually, when he saved Paul, he told him he would actually go and take the gospel to the Gentiles. He would spread it out. And we're going to see in our lesson today that Paul begins his early ministry. He takes Barnabas, they start going on their first missionary journey. And they're going to hop around to a lot of cities. See what I did there? Sorry. And they're going to cover a whole bunch of ground as they do so. Now, in the first journey, he covers roughly 1,500 miles. And this is in the ancient world. That's a lot of ground to cover. Spends roughly 2 years on this journey. And they spend, of course, a lot of times at the different cities, planting the churches, encouraging the believers there, challenging the non-believers, but 2 years. And actually, in all of Paul's ministries, he'll cover approximately over 10,000 miles, which is a whole lot of ground. But what we see in his journeys, here in this first journey, is a consistent pattern. With this pattern, he will go into a city, they will preach the gospel to Jews and to Gentiles. There'll typically be a positive response as Paul preaches the gospel and does miracles by the power of God. And then many will believe. And then there'll be some, typically unbelieving Jews, sometimes Gentiles or pagans, who won't believe, they don't like Paul, they'll threaten Paul's life, they'll try to kill him, and then they run out of town. That's their consistent pattern no matter what happens or what's going on during the ministry, during the journey. And so we see that happen over in Iconium and Lystra. They go to the cities, they preach the gospel, positive response, but then some people turn to people against Paul and Barnabas and they try to kill them, they run out of the city. That's the typical pattern. But something that struck me with this first journey, and Paul typically did this, if you notice his pattern, the route he takes on the journey, he goes through all these different cities, hopping around, covering much ground, and then once he gets done doing the route, he stops, turns around, and goes back through the route again in reverse to all the same cities, re-encouraging those believers and building up those churches, the same cities where they just threaten his life or try to kill him. He goes back to proclaim the good news, to encourage believers, showing his passion for them and his commitment to the gospel of Jesus Christ. So we think about Paul, we think about what it means to live the Christian life. God used Paul to hop around to cover a bunch of ground to spread the gospel early on the growth of the church, but God wants to use us as well to spread that good news, whether where we're at now in a local area or hopping over to a bigger place or a different area, a different part of the world. Let's be faithful to spread that good news and follow the example of Paul and Barnabas no matter what trials we face. You guys have a good day. Hope you enjoy the kangaroos. We'll talk later on. See ya.